Welcome to our introduction to the Cricut Design Space. To get started, head over to our website, elmlib.org. Near the top of the page, you'll see a link that says Create. If you hover over that, you will see the various links for our Makery. Select Makery Equipment. This is where we'll list all of the equipment available within our Makery, and we will provide user guides as well as other useful links. Things are listed alphabetically, so when you scroll down and you see Cricut, go ahead and click on User Guide. This will list all of the information about our Cricut machines inside our Makery. So what exactly is a Cricut? A Cricut is a brand of machine that can cut, score, and even draw on certain materials. The library owns 3 Cricut machines. 2 of those are Cricut Makers and 1 Explore Air 2 model. One of the Cricut Makers is available for reservation only. The other 2 are available first come, first served basis. You might be wondering, well, what can I do with this machine? Well, there's a lot you can do with it. Just a couple of examples are creating custom t-shirts using vinyl, creating labels, greeting cards, and so much more. Feel free to peruse the links on this page to get inspired. The library provides just about everything you need for your project except for the materials that you're going to be using for your project, such as vinyl, paper, what have you. But all of the tools for the Cricut machine itself will be provided by the library, and you can see that list here on this page. So what you'll need to bring with you for your project is the materials that you're going to be using, which you can purchase online or in some stores like Michael's and Joann. And more importantly, you will need a design, which is what this video will hopefully get you started with. As you browse this webpage, you'll see that we offer a lot of information for help with your project, whether that's getting started using adhesive vinyl or heat transfer iron-on vinyl projects, to more advanced projects like the infusible ink, which we won't cover in this video, but you can learn more about by reading this webpage and going to Cricut's website to learn more as well. Cricut Design Space is a software program that the Cricut machine uses to actually make your design. Anyone can create a Cricut account and use the software. You first just need to visit their website, install the program onto your computer, create your account, log in, and you can begin to use this software. If you don't feel comfortable installing this program onto your personal computer, feel free to visit the library and use one of our computers to get started with your project. Here's the process of downloading and installing this application on a Mac computer, which I am currently using. When you go to Cricut's website, cricut.com, and select the design space, it will bring you to the download page. If you don't already have this installed on your computer, you'll have to download the application and install it on your computer. Once it's been downloaded, you can open and begin to use the program. Depending on your personal computer setup and experience, this should only take you about a minute. Once you open the program, you should see this screen, and you'll be prompted to sign in. If you already have an account created, go ahead and sign in. But if you don't have an account, you'll have to create one. Enter your name, what country you're from, give them your email address, that's how you'll actually log into the program, and a password that you create for your Cricut account. You will need to agree to the terms of use and privacy policy, and that other box, that will just send you some marketing emails from Cricut. If you're interested in receiving those, leave it checked. If you're not interested, you can leave that unchecked. Once you're signed in to your Cricut account and you have the application open, you'll most likely see a landing page that has current offers from Cricut, as well as projects that people are working on. If you select New to start a new project, you'll have an open canvas where you can begin your design work. Let's take a look at the interface. Let's start by browsing some images that Cricut offers. You'll have some selections. They do have a lot of images that you do need to pay for, but you can choose and filter those out by going to Ownership and checking the free box. There's even a nice search box that you can use to search for something specific. I'm interested in baseball, so I'm going to search for an image of that. And I see this football, baseball, and basketball. I'm going to use this for our example. You can click on the image to move it around the canvas. You'll also see at the corner of the image that you have other tools to control the image. But right now I'm zoomed in a little too far, so I'm going to go to the lower left and zoom out so I can see more of my canvas. Now you can see that rotation tool in the upper right hand corner, this in the lower right corner to change the size, and this lock, which will allow you to adjust it and manipulate it even more so it's not constrained. And if you do make a mistake, you can always hit Control or Command Z or use that arrow that you see in the upper left-hand window to undo something. So feel free to use those tools at your disposal for manipulating your image once it's been imported to your canvas. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see templates. Templates are a useful tool that offer you at a glance of what your project might look like. So since I plan on making this into a t-shirt, I'm going to use their t-shirt template. And you'll see, although this will not be saved with my project, it kind of gives me a canvas that offers me some insight into what my project could look like. You'll also see images off to the left-hand side. Images is where we actually found the image that we're using now. So you can always go back if you'd like more to import. Text is a really cool feature within Cricut. When you click on text, it will offer you a text box where you can type in what you want it to say in your project. In addition to this, you can also choose through fonts that are installed on your computer, and you have the opportunity to purchase fonts through Cricut if you wish to do so. Once you've entered the text, you can move it around and manipulate it just like you can an image. Once you've entered your text, or even before you begin typing, you can choose your font. Since I've already typed this in, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight it and go to the top of the page where it says font. Here I'll be greeted with the fonts that Cricut offers, but if you click on System, that'll go through all of the system fonts that are currently installed on your computer. Once you find a font that you like, you can go ahead and select that, and you should see your text change in the preview. A very useful tool within the Cricut Design Space is the Align feature. I've offset this so I can show you that when both items are selected, so you can either click on one, hold the Shift key, and click the other, or you can click and drag across to select more than one item. You will see those Align tools, where you can align it horizontally, vertically, and more. And once these two items are properly aligned, then you can select both and move it. And again, this is just a preview on the t-shirt, so you don't have to worry about it being centered. That is really a problem and an issue when you actually attach the vinyl to the actual t-shirt. So feel free to manipulate the text and image to your liking and move it around just to see the preview on your t-shirt. Another feature to the side you'll see are shapes. So this just gives you a selection of shapes that you can add to your project. So the diamond sort of fits in with the baseball theme. If I wanted to do that, I can manipulate it so it looks more like a baseball diamond. But I don't think I'd like that added to my project, so I can either hit the delete key or click on that red X. One very important thing with your project is to save it. Although this is an application that looks like you're connected to the web, if you don't save your project and maybe accidentally close out of the window, then your project will be lost. So always make sure that you save your project, especially when you make big changes to it. What you name your project when you save it to is how you can find it when you go to the landing page and look at all of your previous projects. So just like working in most other programs, save frequently. The last thing I want to show you in the design space is how to upload another image that maybe isn't available through what Cricut offers. So we've already inserted an image that Cricut provided, but how do we upload an image of our own? So to upload your image, go to the Upload feature, and where it says Image, select Upload Image. That's where you can browse files on your computer to upload into the Cricut Design Space. I'm going to browse for a particular image that I have of a tennis player. Notice the compatible image files. You have PNG, JPEG, GIF, and other file formats that Cricut can read and use. I'm going to browse for the file on my computer of the tennis player. You'll see here that you have an image to be uploaded. Off to the side, Cricut will list the different complexities of images. Mine is a simple, high contrast image. Since it's only black and white, it doesn't have multicolors. It doesn't have too many detail, so I think I'm good with the simple. So I'm going to go ahead, select simple, and continue. Here, you'll notice in that corner, anything that's checkered is going to be transparent. So I want to click on the image, anything that I don't want to be part of the image. So all of that white background, I want to make transparent. I also have the opportunity here to crop. So to get rid of that outline, that rectangle around the tennis player, I'm just going to go ahead and select around my tennis player to crop that border out. Once you're happy with the way your image looks and you've cleaned it up the best you can go ahead and continue. Next, you'll have the opportunity to select if you want it to be a print and then cut image, meaning that you're going to use a printer to print the image on a piece of paper and cut around it using the Cricut machine, or you can save it as a cut image so the Cricut can either cut it out through paper, vinyl, or other material that you mean to cut. Next, you'll want to save this image so you can use it in your current project or a future project. So go ahead and click Save, and then select that image that you've just uploaded and insert that image to be used into your project. So now I have this tennis player in my project, and I can manipulate it just like I manipulated that earlier image. Similar to earlier, feel free to use the tools that are given to you in Design Space, such as arranging and aligning. You can also flip, so maybe I want the tennis player to be facing another direction. You can play around with all of these tools. Since I'm going to be making a t-shirt, it's important to make sure that my text and images are mirrored, but we can worry about that when we actually go to cut it using the machine, because there is a nice handy mirror feature that just needs to be checked when you're actually going to make your project. You'll notice on the right hand of the design space are your layers. So we've added 3 layers into this project. The first was the image of the sports balls. We have the text of sports ball, and we have the tennis player. So all 3 of those are layers and can be manipulated on their own. I'm pretty happy with the way this looks, so I think I'm pretty much getting ready to make this now. So I'm just going to go ahead and save my project again, and with that I'm going to turn the template off just so I don't have that t-shirt in the background anymore. I'm going to zoom out, and because I'm getting ready to print this, I want to move it to the upper left hand corner so I'm not wasting any of my heat transfer vinyl. If I'm pretty conservative with the amount of vinyl I use, I might be able to use that vinyl for another project later on. So I'm just going to select all of these and move it to the upper left hand corner. Now, once you have your design in place, you may need to attach all 3 of these together. So when you go to print it, Cricut isn't making 3 separate cuts and not aligning things properly. I'm just going to save my project one more time, and then I'm going to go to make it so you can see what happens if I do not attach these 3 items together. So here's a preview of what the Cricut is going to do. See how it took my tennis player and the word sports ball on one sheet, and it put the sports balls on another, but it doesn't look like how I designed my project. So I'm going to go back out and back into my project, and I'm going to select all 3 of my layers and attach them together. Now that they're attached, it should leave everything in place when I go to make this with my Cricut machine. And there we go. Everything looks like it's in the proper place just how I designed it. So one important thing with heat transfer vinyl, I will need to mirror my image. So when I go to apply it to my t-shirt, it can actually be read the same way. If I didn't mirror my design, it would be backwards on my t-shirt. Well, that just about covers it for our introduction to the Cricut Design Space. I know our makery is still closed during this pandemic, but when it does reopen, We have staff in the makery that will help you with any issues you might have with the machine when you're getting ready to make your design. Please refer to our website, elmlib.org/makery, for updates about the makery closure. So, although the makery is closed, feel free to use this time to create all of your designs that you can make in the future. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you all very soon.